stop. You don't stop.
Never eat your pig cause your pig is a cop.
I got the rap patrol on the Gat Patrol. Ladies love me long time like Tupac Soul.
Like roll, like dough, nitro, nitro. And if you don't know, now you know. You know I got
Up to the house in my 6'4".
oh snap! Guess what I saw? Standing on the front stoop, hanging out the window.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the dope. I jumped out the rock and said, what's up?
Designated driver, take the keys to my truck.
Pauline in my coat, get nice, split the blunt up.
Come on everybody, let's get
Get the fuck up.
Man, what y'all wanna do?
what you wanna do.
What you going to do?
Baller,
B-ballers,
shot
shot callers. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her.
I was like, good gracious, ass is bodacious.
And I approach baby like,
My name is
last name ever, first name greatest. I've been spending hundreds since they had small faces.
see no by the layers, true fucking players. Race in the space means peace, see you later.
Funky fresh and yes, cold on my feet.
My life's like a soundtrack I wrote to the beat.
when the streets keep calling, heard it when I was asleep.
T-O-N-P-T-O-N, my city, Marvin is the street. This is my part, nobody else speaks.
Stop this shit. Okay.
First, let me hop out that chopper, sister, brother, son,
Showstopper, flow proper, head knocker, beat scholar.
Girl, I want a waller in the back of my
I know you ain't a pimp, but pimp, remember what I taught you.
Who am I? I'm the boss.
I still represent with your house.
Two shot Biggie Smalls, if we don't get them, they gon' get us all.
Hey, you know how we ball. Right in the shiny car. Although we go for the law, we dodge them like fuck them all.
Smoking hot, pouring up, keeping lead up in my cup.
You leave no drink around me, believe your drink gon' get drunk up.
Pumping hard like I wish you would.
You the superstar, boy. Why you still up in the hood?
We back.
Back on the scene, crispy and clean.
It was all a dream.
It wasn't even close to Halloween when the MCs came to live out the name.
Went solo on that ass, but it's still the same.
Okay, first things first, I'll eat your brains.
Eating whack rappers alive, shitting out chains.
West side, when we rock, come equipped with game.
Look, homie, I done came up and I ain't changed. Oh, yeah. Hold
I
up.
don't mean to hold you up, but I got something to say. Come on. Give me the mic so I can take it away.
Player haters, get away, or my leg will spray.
Cause this type of shit, it happens every day.
And I will never stop.
Because I just can't quit.
Mayonnaise, color bands, I push miracle whip.
I gather round. I'm the new fool in town.
I'm the young Harlem nigga with the Goldie sound.
Down,
And I came to get down.
Get down, girl, don't worry, get down.
I get money, money I got.
Rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock.
Do the hard trick, talk, get on
I told you I'm just like a clock when I tick things outside.
Hit the beat, y'all, but you don't stop. Once off your doubt, y'all, it's hip-hop.
Do you see that someone has broken the handle off my favorite coffee mug?
You're kidding.
And do you know what they did after they broke it? They tried to glue it together and put it away.
Somebody just took this thing and just glued it and then put it way back in the cupboard, huh?
How'd you know it was in the cupboard, Cliff?
Because I just guessed that it would be way back in the cupboard.
How did you know it was way back in the cupboard?
Am I going to need a lawyer?
I think so. You broke my mug.
You see, I tried.
I see what you tried to do with all this old tired-looking glue all clumped up in here together like this. Pieces missing, all chipped up glue on the inside of the cup.
But see, I did that on purpose.
Why?
So that you would think that one of the children did it.
Well, I almost went to the children and accused them.
Right. And then they would have denied doing it.
But I wouldn't have believed them.
That's right.
If
stay strong on your love all the time. Yeah. Gloria, my Gloria, Gloria. Things ain't been the same since you've been away. No. Gloria, my Gloria. I don't wanna see another day. Seems like only yesterday I beheld your sweet face in my lonely room. My memories of your warm embrace. Gloria, my Gloria. Things ain't been the same since you've been away, away, away. Gloria, oh my Gloria, Gloria. I don't wanna see another day, another day without you. Oh, I found the nerve to say I'm gonna make a change in my life, starting here today. Oh, I surrender all my love. I never thought I could. No, giving all my love away. There's only one reason that I would. Baby, it's you. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you say my name, your smile, the way you move me, the way you soothe me, the way you sleep softly through the night. Every morning you rise and open your eyes. I just wanna be there with you, babe. I just wanna be yours from this day forward. You talk, the way you say my name, your smile, the way you move me, the way you soothe me, the way you sleep softly through the night. Every morning you rise and open your eyes. I just wanna be there with you, babe. I just wanna be yours from this day forward.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your championship finals info, stats, news, and scores. What up, y'all? It's your man, Lois Vince, back again for the summer. And get the latest odds and lines and the latest matchup reports for this year's NBA and Stanley Cup Finals over at BetOnline. BetOnline is your sports intel headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your inside sports wagering needs, from basketball and hockey to Major League Baseball, UFC, and boxing. The fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your home. So this is what you do. Get into the action today. Head to the website and use your mobile device to join, and be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to receive your 50% bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline is where the game starts. Tell them the Noise Maker station.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Now, yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. You can make it round the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world. we're ready to shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Hey yeah, say it again, say we're talking noise. Yeah, talking noise. Really don't have time to fool around. Mama noise keeps us lined up. No truth divine. The sign that you hear is a sign of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah, talking noise. Yeah, picking up all the time. We're talking noise. Yeah. Talking noise. Say it again. We're talking noise.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
What up, good people of Noise Land? It's been a long time. Mama Noise, why are you in the dark? First of all, you muted. Can't nobody hear nothing you saying. Let's start with that.
With it being daylight outside, it's influencing the light in here because I have
Mama
the
Noise,
light up.
Mama Noise, all you gotta do is turn the ring light towards you. Just turn it towards you. Let me help you. Let me get you right. No, turn it towards you, as in your face.
In the face?
In the face. There you go.
That's too much in the face.
No, it's got to be in your face. That's how we light you up.
See how it ain't working?
Well, because you got in the wrong spot, but we're going to stall you out tonight. Put it on something bright. You got it on these club colors. You ain't going to the club. Is this club Talkin NOIZ? Mama Noise, I'm gonna let you get your lighting right, and let me give the people the intro. White organist, if you would, please, sir. First of all, shout out to white organist for not being mad at us for not being on for a while. And just to let y'all know, we got white organist doing other things. He's multi-talented, so he don't just play the organ. He got other things. He ain't broke. We know he got twins to take care of and whatnot. He got it. Don't worry about him. We got him. All right. But anyway, with that being said, it's good to see everybody. We're glad to be back. Please grab your church fans, your Bibles, and your program. Head to your pews. Get comfortable. Because we're about to make some noise. All right? Love each and every one of you. And again, glad to see you here. White organist, do me a favor. If you don't mind, sir, just give us a smidgen of vocal on top of what you're playing, if you don't mind. We sure would appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, our brother, White organist. I need my lighter. Where's my lighter? Here we go. That's all you get. I don't want to waste my food.
You ain't trying to start a fight.
Wait, White organist. I missed that. I miss White Organist singing that song. Man, that was good. He did his thing just then, boy. All right. Thank you, White Organist. Appreciate you, buddy. All right. Mama Noise, how are you doing tonight?
I'm well.
That's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. We're going to have to work on it. I know we've been off for a long time, so your shit might not be like perfect right now.
I mean, all this light outside. See, with all the light I have inside, it contradicts.
That means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
Well, because you got dark curtains that can block out lighting, and I don't.
I have perfect lighting in here. That is correct, Mama Noise. I look good. Oh, my mama. Oh, my hood. I look fly. I look good. Touch my swag. You know what I'm saying? I'm all that.
Thank you.
I'm just letting you know. It's good to see everybody pulling up in the chat. Shout out to the noisemakers. Appreciate y'all. Y'all, it's been a busy few months. Can I just tell you? A busy few months. A lot going on. We are making some moves that we thought we were going to be able to announce in the month of May, and then some other stuff happened, and that had nothing to do with us. And now we having to wait. So our announcements are on delay. But nevertheless, we press on for you, the noisemakers. That's what we do. So we're glad to be here with you tonight. I think some of the fellas are going to pull up here in just a little bit. So give them a minute. Whatever. But nevertheless, me and Mama Noise is here. And we're going to make it do what it do. Again, Mama Noise, how are you doing?
I'm well. I got folks trying to send me messages, trying to find out, are we live? And I'm like, yes, we are.
Yeah, we live. What's going on? Are they confused? Is it not? Where are they sending the messages from?
They're sending messages from Messenger.
Oh, okay, on Facebook. So yes, we are live on Facebook.
Oh, okay, there you are. Hey, Tara.
Yeah, we are live.
Well, because see, the Zetas, they come through,
Oh, here we go. You ain't gotta start that. Don't start this. You ain't gotta do all that. That's not even necessary.
Zetas come through, baby. They pull up. They pull up on you.
We don't even use that drop no more. I don't think.
Yeah, we should.
We don't even have that drop anymore. We don't even have that drop no more.
Well, we need to talk to production because that one was hot.
Why was that so hot?
Because, I like we'll come through then.
I don't think we had that drop no more either.
What is happening? Thank you, Tara. See what I'm talking about? We pull up on you. See, I'm just saying, Zetas come through.
Well, I'm not questioning the Zetas' loyalty. They have been very supportive of this show.
Hey, Dion.
I will say that. They have been very supportive of this show. So anyway. All right, well, let's get to it, Mama Noel. We got a lot to talk about. We've been gone for a minute. You know what's funny? The last show that we did live, Donald Trump was being indicted. And now here we are again, and Donald Trump is being indicted. So maybe it's us. Maybe we just got the magic touch that leads to conviction, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say this is about.
Okay.
Maybe it's us. And so, but I ain't gonna we're not gonna spend a lot of time on that today. But tomorrow is going down. He's in New Jersey, I believe, and he's gonna be indicted on according to the document, he is being charged with allegedly stashing more than 300 classified documents after leaving the White House. 300, God, dog, he just took everything.
He's just trying to make sure he got receipts on some people.
I don't know. That sounds like the beginnings of a blackmail scheme to me, but
that's what I'm talking about. Receipts.
Yeah, so I don't know. And then he was trying to hide them, and it's a whole thing, y'all. It's a whole thing. I encourage you to go look it up and look at all the information that's going on. But it's like a 44-page indictment, 44 pages. Military secrets was being told, and he was having cocktail parties. Like, y'all, guess what they told me? Like he was reckless with it, yo. So I thought I heard he was having trouble finding a lawyer for all of this. So I don't know. It's ugly right now, but listen, brother. Good luck to you, man. Like real talk, Orange Man. It looks bad. It just looks bad for you.
Orange Man
looks bad for you, brother. I get it. So, so that's going down. What else is going down? A lot of stuff has happened. I don't even remember all the stuff that's happened since the last time we were here.
Oh, well, now look, it would take a long time. We'd have to do more.
Take a long time to go through everything that's happened.
Right.
Since we were here. So I'll just deal with the stuff that went down this weekend. Like, I didn't know there was a fight this weekend. Well, not really a fight, like an exhibition between Floyd Mayweather and
what?
Yeah, there was an exhibition this weekend between Floyd Mayweather and Gotti, John Gotti Jr. or the third or whatever it was. And so it was just supposed to be like a simple exhibition. It wasn't supposed to be anything like serious or complicated or intense or anything like that. And a simple exhibition escalated quickly into something else.
Oh, okay. Are we talking about
So now at the same venue, after that fight happened in the ring, this would happen outside the ring.
Hey man, somebody stop that shit. Hey, stop that girl. Yo, stop the shit, bro.
So for those who don't know what happened this weekend, inside the ring, I don't know what provoked John Gotti for attacking Floyd, but John Gotti went off and he's tried to attack Floyd. Although I'm gonna be honest with you, that one seemed to be more staged to me than because I don't really trust stuff like that because boxers will stage some shit in a heartbeat. So I don't know if I really trust the whole thing that they did. But that Jocelyn Big Lex thing was real. That's been brewing for quite some time. And they've been kind of beefing back and forth. Jocelyn's been wilding all summer, if you want to know the truth. But apparently she can't stand Big Lex, and Big Lex, who's a part of some show called Jocelyn's Cabaret on Zeus Network. I don't know much about Zeus Network. All I know is that they show a lot of ratchet shit. That's all I know.
Oh, well.
But at any rate, they was beefing on the show, and so Big Lex was talking real reckless about Jocelyn, and so Jocelyn was like on site. It's on site. Whatever you want it to be, it's gonna be. And so she saw at the thing after the boxing match, and she proceeded to beat the brakes off of her. You got your behind whoop when when you have been beaten and your breasts are flopping, your titties are flopping, and don't nobody try to cover them up. They're like, girl, you gotta take this, you got to own this L. Jocelyn was the one in the flowery dress, or the colorful dress. And Big Lex was the one with her breast flapping around the room. No, it was. That's what it was. She had titties out, mama. She did. And so it was an ugly situation, to say the least. And since we've been on the air today, over the last couple of hours, she's been arrested for it. She got arrested for I forget what all the charges were. Let me pull them up real quick.
All the charges?
Yeah, it was like 4 different charges. Mama, you can't just be whooping somebody's ass in public and not get charged for it.
I mean, I'm just
that's
trying.
not how this works. You can't just.
But what is
the
reason for all of this?
Well, see, that's what everybody's trying to figure out. Like, what is? We don't. Nobody knows. It's like, other than they don't get along. Then I don't know. Jocelyn is a real hostile person by nature, it appears, and she has a very short temper. Like, she's beefing with Amber Rose, and they said she got into it with Amber Rose, and they got into a fight on a TV show. So apparently that's just her nature. Like, she just likes to fight, and she just got a short temper. Let me see. I'm trying to see the charges. I'm trying to see where was I at when I saw the charges. I know I wasn't on the shade room. Maybe I wasn't on the shade room. Where was I at when I saw the charges?
But this is
because there are actual charges. There's like 4 of them that she got. Yeah, formerly of Love and Hip Hop.
The one that Stevie J was going back and forth.
Oh yeah, that's Mama Noise. You way behind.
I'm saying that's the only thing I can relate her to.
Yeah, they've been broke up. Okay, let me see if I can pull it up for everybody to take a look at here. I'll just share my screen if y'all don't mind. Pay no attention to the advertising. We don't endorse the company that's trying to advertise here. There's a mugshot right there. And then here are the charges. So charge number 1 is touch or strike battery, domestic violence. Charge number 2 is also battery. I think she struck a security guard or something like that. In addition, like, she slapped the fire out of some security guard a couple of times. And then trespassing, unoccupied structure or convenience. So the trespassing leads me to believe that she wasn't at the fight initially and then came to the fight. I don't know. I'm sure all of that's going to come out at some point. And then the 4th charge is resisting an officer, and then obstruction with violence, which that one may or may not be thrown out. I don't know, but those are the charges. And it's been trending. It's been trending quite a bit over the last 24 hours. That's what everybody been talking about her. Like, and I agree, Tara. Like, dudes are afraid of Jocelyn. She's real hostile. She's very, 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 very hostile. She's
she like that chick that be fighting Blueface?
Yeah, she's cut from that cloth. I think she's cut from that short temper.
She beat him like a man.
You're talking about Krishan.
I don't even know the chick's name. All I know is that she fight like a man to him.
Yeah, that's what Jocelyn does too. Jocelyn is very, very much thuggish. If you want to, I would say thuggish, but she just fights like she just fights. That's her thing. She's a fighter. So
I didn't even know who these people were, but
I only know Jocelyn from back in the day when she was on Love and Hip Hop. That's the only reason I know. I don't follow her. I don't keep up with her well doing. I didn't even know this whole beef was going on until she whooped the girl's ass this weekend. So I didn't,
I'm just saying I heard of her, but then like every time I would open my news feed, it would be like, this Krishan chick is taking down Blueface. I'm sitting there going, what woman is it that's taking down a man? And then they like, now they back together, and it was like,
well, they're not together anymore. They're not together anymore. But I'm gonna say this: I don't know if she's taking him down as much as he just ain't fighting back and trying to hurt her. Because I think the one thing that I can kind of respect him on I don't remember or recall any video where she put her hands on him and he responded. Blueface is a rapper. Krishan was his ex-girlfriend, for those who like, I don't even know who none of these folks are.
Listen, you can Google that.
Yeah, it's a lot of blackish. That's all it is. It's
a lot of black ratchet
hood black, new black rappers. Is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what was going on with that over the weekend. And listen, no one was more thankful for Jocelyn's beatdown of Big Lex than Zion Williams. He was so thankful because he was like, yo, he probably sent us some flowers or something.
He's like, at least it ain't me.
It ain't me. Like, I'm so sick of trending. Because it's like I've been trending like a mug all week long, out here in these streets looking crazy. And vote for those who may or may not know, Zion Williamson is the New Orleans Pelicans player, their star player, who threw a baby shower for his baby mama, who allegedly is a woman who dances on the pole. And they're having a baby together. They did a beautiful little YouTube video.
It was
got to tell his main chick or side piece, depending on who you ask on this story, porn star Mariah Mills, he forgot to tell her that he was doing the video. And so she felt the way about it and proceeded to out him.
But did she even know that this girl was pregnant?
That's the part that we don't know. It didn't appear so based on her tweets that she was as shocked as the rest of us were. Okay. And she felt the way about it and proceeded to out him and all of their activities together, up to and including the fact that I just found out that he was sending her almost $170,000 a month.
Oh,
let me just say this.
Don't say it.
This is a blatant violation of side piece etiquette, okay?
Side piece etiquette.
I'm just saying, Mama Noise, if somebody's sending you $170,000 a month, you're supposed to shut the hell up. That's really what your number one responsibility.
That's right. That's supposed to be your silence.
You have two jobs at that point. If somebody's sending you $170,000 a month, you have two jobs at this point. Have sex when he asks you to, shut the hell up. That's it. That's all you have to do.
That's right.
And he was willing to pay $170,000 for these services, which she clearly broke the contract.
But see, here is the error. He didn't do like the pros in celebrityum that have a NDA that say, look, I'm gonna pay you this 170 or whatever, but ain't nobody gonna know I paid you the 170, and you can't be getting on social media saying nothing.
I believe where he has made a tremendous mistake is that it doesn't appear that he has an NDA with her. Because she is talking.
He's a mama's boy, and bless his little country heart, he is clueless.
Well, that is also true. Now she's, I think, afraid that he's gonna cut her off.
Yeah, because now you done brought attention that the baby mama probably wasn't familiar with what was going on with the side chick.
No, not at all. So, needless to say, the situation has escalated quite ugly. And we don't know. She spent the whole weekend talking about this. Like, she is totally pissed about this.
Right, Yvonne. She broke the code. And then listen, just like Yvonne said about Tiger Woods. Listen, that chick thought she was gonna pull the stunt and say, okay, I'm the girlfriend and I'm finna, do this here. Tiger Woods was like, you remember that document you signed?
Yeah.
And she like, does that still stand? Because, actually, I'm still the girlfriend until she got put out the house. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that happened while we was gone as well. So I don't know. It's an ugly situation. It doesn't feel like it's going to be resolved anytime soon. The crazy part about it is that it's a terrible look for him. And it's a terrible look or attention that is completely unnecessary to the Pelicans. Like it looks real immature, and I'm sure if you're a Pelicans fan, you feeling a way about this because you're like, bro, is that why you can't play basketball because you out here slaying strippers and porn stars? That's why you can't get healthy, bro. You need to get focused. Like you're gonna lose all this money. They owe him $200 million coming up here in the next season. He need to get focused. He need to get locked in for real.
I mean,
like right now, he is wildly unfocused.
When you say $170,000, listen here.
Let me tell you something. There's one of my favorite quotes and scenes is from the movie I Think I Love My Wife, where Chris Rock's character is messing with Kerry Washington, and it's starting to cost him. He misses a major deal or major presentation that he's supposed to make that was going to be big money for the company. And so the boss brought him into this huge conference room, and he said, "How much you think you made for this company? You think you made like a considerable amount, millions?" He said, "Yeah, I think I brought in millions." So he takes a nickel and puts the nickel down on the conference table. He said, "This nickel represents your contribution to this company. This table represents the company." He said, "You can always find women making money, but you'll never make money chasing women."
Dang. He thought he had done something.
And I'm just saying, that's kind of where Zion is. Like, bruh, calm down. First of all, I don't even think you understand that you're in the NBA yet. Because if you think this ugly dudes out here getting more than porn stars, like, bro, like level up. Like, what are we doing? Like, no disrespect to the profession. If that's what you do, that's your choice. It ain't something I'm gonna encourage my children to do. But if that's you, whatever you do is what you do. But I'm just saying, bruh, you don't have to be attractive to go get some nice looking girl to be with you. Like, you may have to work a little harder, but you ain't got to do all that. That's like, bruh, come on. Porn stars and strippers and bruh, calm down. Like,
no, wait a minute. I hear what you're saying, Spence, but I still have to say it seems to be the norm in NBA, NFL, any type of professional sports, any type of profession to have this type of challenge.
No. I disagree with that. It's the norm with some of these young boys that don't know how the game is played.
What about James Harden?
Like I said, it's the norm with some of these young boys.
Is he considered young?
Yeah, but see, James Harden is exclusively stripper. Like, he has made a decision. This is who I am. I am a lover of the stripper. So I don't really need out, nor do I want. Now, he ain't confessed to say he gonna wipe any of these chicks up. He's just willing to throw bands to make them dance.
Well, he said, "Listen, you was conceived in love."
That's what Zion said in his video. He was conceived in love. The baby was conceived, and that's a good thing.
So,
I mean,
just in case I never wipe up your mama.
Right, that brother done turned into like T-Pain. So I don't know. It's I don't know. It is what it is. I think he could do better than that. Like, I feel like he could, but you know what? Maybe he don't. Maybe like, this is, look, you see me out here in these streets. I'm Biggie with a jump shot. Now I can't get better than that.
Listen,
I'm trying.
Biggie bragged on himself like he was that guy.
I feel like if Zion got T-shirts that said I'm worth $200 million, he could pretty much at least get conversation with I don't know. It's a wild scenario. But anyway, I digress. We won't stay there, but it's a wild situation with the brother. Hoping he gets it together. So that's most of the stuff that's been going on this week, the last week since we've been gone. Most of the big stuff that's been going on the last week. Of course, the NBA Finals is tonight, Game 5.
What?
We'll see how that turns out. This may be the last.
Who playing?
What'd you say?
Who playing?
Mama Noise, how you gonna be the sports person? And you just pride yourself as being sports Mama Noise, and you don't even know who's playing.
You know what? I have not been engaged. Once the Lakers was no longer in it, I don't know who else is playing.
Well, I respect that. So it's Denver and Miami.
Oh,
Heat.
take it back.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
What?
It's Denver and the Miami Heat are playing tonight. And so this should be an interesting game tonight to see if Denver can close out the Miami Heat on their floor and celebrate their very first.
Denver's
killing. Listen, they are good. I'm
just gonna tell you,
we live in a different world today, Mama Noise.
Denver is somebody I would never expect to be in the playoffs.
Nobody believes it, but this is where we are.
Timberwolves.
This is where we are. Yes. This is where we are. So, so anyway, that's the news update for this. In case you missed the Monday, I hope you guys will govern yourselves accordingly. As Cuz enters the building in a very timely fashion, and appreciate it. What's going on, Cuz? You doing all right?
Doing good.
Good to see you. We good, brother. We good. We actually got a lot that we want to discuss. You have any thoughts on Zion Williamson and his porn star love, or are we good on that?
He's a young man.
You know what? I have a theory about him and John Moran. John Moran is the kid that was waving the gun. When you're from a small town and you ain't never had nothing, when you finally get something and you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do and the money to do it, I think that small town thing kicks in on you. And you don't have a real, because you ain't never been exposed to anything or never had access to anything. So then the small town factor kicks in and you just start acting wild. I feel like some of that is their South Carolina upbringing.
I don't know about that. I don't think the town matters, or whether you're from the hood or whether you're from the suburbs. If you give a 20-year-old or 22-year-old that amount of money with that amount of power, because with power comes money, you just never know what you're going to get. I sit here as a 54-year-old man saying, ain't nowhere in the hell I would do that. But is that real? I don't know what I would have done in my 20s if I had.
Now, I have said that, cuz. Yeah, I have said that.
I don't think, as much as I love women and respect women, I don't think I would have done, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But we've often said here on this here podcast that, or should I say, I have often said here on this here podcast about how men, once they come into a certain amount of money, influence, then it's like, let me get my grocery list and my wish list of what type of woman I always wanted, and I can afford that now.
You know what you never hear? You never hear of a WNBA player who said, I married a porn star.
Because they don't pay the WNBA players.
But they still got money.
They don't pay them money like NBA.
Well, that's true.
We don't get started on that now. You remember we went down that road and they didn't even want to give them.
But do you think women would act the same way as men if they had the same financial access? See, I don't think they would. I don't think women would do that. I don't think you'd ever hear a story of Candace Parker out in the club throwing up bands because she loves strippers so much. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I just don't think women do that.
But that's in part because we teach our boys to sow their wild oats. It's expected. We teach young ladies to keep themselves as much as possible, not to put themselves out there and be as wild as. There's no disrespect for young men to be wild. There's disrespect for young ladies to be wild.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I really do. I hate that we've been told our whole lives, y'all just, and don't do this and don't do that. And then you get with a guy and it's like, woohoo, y'all teach these boys, not y'all, or men teach boys to get all you can and stuff. And it's like, okay, what's he supposed to gain from that? Having had, I'm trying to figure out what's the end game?
Maybe? I don't know.
Huh?
Credibility? I don't know. Zara asked a question. She said, do porn stars earn more money, or is it the WNBA strippers and wrestlers that earn more? That's actually a great question. That's actually a great question. I'm
gonna say
a great question.
WNBA players is probably the bottom of that list.
I would say the ranking would be, and I'm assuming you're saying females, so I'm gonna go females. I would say it's wrestler, porn star, stripper, WNBA.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It really depends. It really depends on marketing. It does, Mama Noise. If she is marketed properly and connects with the right person, then that person can help her blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Take for instance that Anna Nicole Smith girl. Anna Nicole Smith was a very nice looking girl, but she wasn't all that.
Right.
And she blew up.
Yeah, but I would say wrestlers for sure, like top tier female wrestlers today are making anywhere between 10 to 15 to 20,000 a week.
Which is more than WNBA.
Right, oh God. Listen, you notice when I gave the list, the WNBA was at the bottom of the list.
That's right.
They're not making nearly what porn stars and strippers are making.
I mean,
like it's not even close. So but you're right, Jay. A porn star can shoot higher up the list with the right marketing and opportunities. But I don't know if they'll ever catch a wrestler.
Have you ever seen the documentary on Marilyn Monroe? Which is who the chick? What's her name? Jay, did you just say it?
Are you calling Marilyn Monroe a porn star?
No, I'm saying, what's the lady's name that you just said?
Oh, Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith was trying to be a Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, plenty of young ladies have.
And so what I'm saying is that she was a farm girl with no this and no that. Listen, she came as plain as they come.
I would argue, Mama Noise, that Anna Nicole Smith was a Marilyn Monroe in some ways.
But she became that. She was, both of them were like farm girls that looked like like plain Janes.
No. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying I think Anna Nicole Smith kind of followed that same blueprint.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think she followed the same blueprint.
She look where it got Marilyn. Marilyn got all the way up to being the side piece of the president. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, now listen, Marilyn could be the greatest side piece of all time. It's possible.
Well,
like we should do a side piece ranking one day and see.
Oh my God,
see where everybody ranks out. So
top 10 side.
We'll say that for another show, but I'm saying there's a top 10 of side pieces out there.
I mean,
and I'm sure Marilyn ranks high on that list.
Okay. Well, it depends now. I mean, there are some side pieces out there that have yet to be uncovered because
that is true.
They've been paid well.
That is true. Well, we can only go by the information we have. So it won't be an official list.
Listen, I've never heard the word NDA so much in my life. I mean, the acronym NDA so much in my whole life. But man, listen, that's what the chick that was messing with Tiger Woods was hoping for. She was like, "Is it still good? Is it still valid?" Because if it's not.
Yeah, that shit got thrown out quickly.
I'm telling all the secrets.
Yeah, that shit got thrown out quickly. She thought she had a pass. And the judge was like, "Nah, you sign that shit, you in trouble. You ain't."
I need to be paid for my silence.
No. What she needs to be doing is learn how to read. Like, just reading is fundamental. Get you a lawyer
Hey,
and
listen.
read before you sign.
Right,
That's if
right,
you'd have
right.
read it, then you'd have known. But that's
Mhm.
another conversation for another day. I
Mm.
want to jump into the main topic of the day because I think it's a good topic because it kind of emerged from our Saturday night conversation. Shout out to Uncorked Wine. And we always have fun on that show. But every now and then we run into, hey, what up, Ron? Every now and then we run into something that becomes even more intense and amazing. And Saturday was no different. And you know, when you look at the landscape of the world we live in right now, there really are not a lot of places like online TV shows, there's just not a lot of places that you can have what I would call balanced conversations. And what I mean by that is conversations where people can agree or disagree with one another and still walk away with a measure of perspective. And also balanced in the sense that you get to hear a perspective that may not be popular to the other side. Case in point, people's views on the alphabet group or people's views on Me Too. There are very few times, excuse me, where you can go online and hear a conversation, especially related to those type of topics, views about men and women, period, where the conversation is balanced in nature, where you get to hear, even if it offends you, you get to hear both sides of the conversation and you get to walk away going, I don't necessarily agree with the other side, but I do understand where they're coming from. And I think the number one reason why it feels like society is sliding, to me, is that we're fighting truths. We're fighting it. We're fighting what has been traditionally honest, truth, and real, and we're shifting truth. We're calling perception and perspectives truth in a world where and we're eliminating what is called absolutes.
Okay.
And so absolutes are important because they serve, in my opinion, let me say it that way. Absolutes are important, in my opinion, because they serve as the foundation by which a society should function. Like, we should all be able to agree on this thing. But if everybody gets to interpret that thing in their own way, then now we don't have any type of measure of what's real anymore. And so people get to decide what's real on their own. And that becomes dangerous because now I have to decide, do I go with your reality or do I go with my reality? And every time I go with my reality and my reality conflicts with your reality, you want to call me something or I want to call you something. And that is not how a free society, there's freedom, but there shouldn't there also be not consequence, but definition to our freedom. Is that a better way to say? I don't know. I'm not sure I'm giving it the right statement here, but I'm curious to know how you guys feel about that. And we'll start our conversation there and go from there. So
definition?
Yeah, like we're calling some things that have traditionally been truth, and we're now saying there's fluidity to those things.
Okay.
Perfect example. People are being given the right to identify in whatever way they want to identify, which ignores biology and science and anatomy and physiology. We're just ignoring that and we're saying, well, you might have been born that way, but whatever you decide you are, that's who you are. And that's, to me, that becomes dangerous because, and that's just one area, by the way, because we're also afraid to talk about people's triggers. We're also afraid that people have conversations about people's traumas and have honest conversation about whether or not your trauma is one that is societal or individual. We're afraid to talk about everything, so we don't talk about anything.
Wow, that's a toxic place.
Well, it's dangerous.
Well, I mean, the fact that you say that, you know, because we're afraid to talk about everything, then we don't talk about anything. So how do people get what they need if nobody wants?
They don't. They don't. It's, to me, it's
how
a
does
strategy.
healing come forth? If
you don't get healing, and you don't get completion or satisfaction because we're not talking. So you still have opposing thoughts and opinions, and no one wants to listen to one another. So we're fighting truth. We're saying
that's what we've been taught. It's like I was saying, I think
what do you mean by that?
Okay, like for instance, we've been taught, I'm saying in our bracket of age, is that we've been taught that whatever goes on in this house stays in this house. And when you try to cry, don't cry, suck it up. You be all right. Everything, it keeps going in. The how you feel goes in, the tears go in. If you have questions about it, goes in. There's no outlet. It's all. I just have to keep putting it. It's like keep packing. You know, like a trash compactor. It just keeps getting compacted over and over again, and it overflows. And sometimes it's an outburst that comes out in another area, and it has nothing to do with that area, but everything to do with the fact that all you've been told is to keep it inside. Keep it inside.
So you're talking about the triggers and stuff.
That it can be that.
Yeah. No, I got you.
It can be that.
You know, that's an interesting perspective, Mama Noise, because that could also be the reason why the generation after ours and after the millennials, more like the Gen Zs and all those guys, maybe that's why they're so adamant about getting it all out.
Mm-hmm.
And you respected how I feel, and I get the choice, and this, that, and the other, and I want to shift this and alter that and make it different and make it that. That might be an interesting.
You speak in your mind. I need to be able to say whatever's on my listen, because you know I've been told for so long, y'all need to be quiet and stay in a child's place. Okay, well now once I get older, don't I get to say anything?
All right, well go ahead, cuz I know you got something to say. I'm gonna read Tars here in a minute, but go ahead, Tar. I mean, cuz I know you got something to that.
Yeah, this is a tough conversation, which is in part why we are, I believe, sliding downhill with communication in society, because it's a really tough conversation. We believe that, and rightfully so, that we're all individuals, and that me being different than you is perfectly okay. I don't have to be a carbon copy of you, or I don't have to be a carbon copy of anybody. I can be an individual. But I also believe at the same time that we have allowed ourselves as a society to embrace dysfunction and to make dysfunction normal. Now, you may be an individual, and you may have a right to express yourself however you want in these United States of America. But what I don't have to do is embrace your dysfunction as the new normal. So I think that's extremely difficult. A prime example of that. We all know that ghetto street life, if you will, is extremely dysfunctional. It comes from a place of dysfunction.
Right.
It comes from a place of brokenness. But what we have done through our music and through our culture is we have learned to embrace it. So now we have brought that which is not good for the community. We've brought that to a place of status. And you have the right to be as good as you want, but I have the right not to accept that dysfunction. So we can't have conversations around that because you're gonna come and say I can be whoever I want to be. That's who I am. You either accept me or you don't. Well, I choose not to accept dysfunction.
But how do you do that?
How you do which part?
How do you not accept dysfunction?
I choose not to glorify it and lift it up.
Okay.
As if you have arrived because of your display. I mean, that's what we do in so much of our culture. You don't have to be a man. You don't have to be a woman. But you can display dysfunctional behavior. And if that dysfunctional behavior becomes popular, or you become popular displaying that dysfunctional behavior, you are now the norm.
Well, and I agree 100% with what you're saying. The challenge that I have with the whole thing is that we're being forced. And see, here's the thing. People think that the battle lines are drawn at places of faith. And I won't disagree completely that's true. There's some truth to that statement, that battle lines are being drawn at places of faith. So the Christian faith says they're trying to destroy your families by making it this, that, and the other. And non-Christian, I wouldn't even say non-Christian faith, but lifestyle choices are saying, well, it's the Christian faith that's making it hard for us to be who we want to be. And to me, I look at both sides and say, you're both making it difficult because we just can't talk about any of it with either of you. Neither one of you are willing to listen to what is truthful and what is real. Here's what's truthful, in my opinion, what's real. That biologically, when a young man is born a young man, he's a young man, period. End of discussion. But what choices that young man makes as his life evolves are his choices. And there are things that come along with those choices. So when you forge down a particular path, that's the choice that you're making. And they have whatever consequences that come along or whatever unfoldings come along with those choices. But to say to me, who may disagree with your choices, that I'm wrong because I don't agree with your choices, that's not true. I'm not wrong. I just don't agree with what you did. And that doesn't make me a bad person. And so I'm going to be honest with you, as we prepared for this show today, I had some major conflicts within myself because I had to be able to look at myself and my journey and other people's journey honestly and say, you know what? We have to allow them the right to disagree. And I think as long as the disagreement is one of just disagreement for disagreement's sake, I got to be honorable in the disagreement. So there are some people I may have to back off of and say, you know what? I don't agree with nothing she just said, but but she has the right to disagree. You know what I mean? But
well, that's the case with everyone, right?
But that's not how we're treating each other in society. That's not how we're treating each other. We are spitting pure vitriol toward anyone, and we are trying to cancel everyone that disagrees with us. And we're literally trying to eliminate what is truthful. J.K. Rowling, who before she made any of her statements about transgender, she said, she was one of the most beloved writers in the history of time because of them Harry Potter books. Now, because she said, well, hold on, you not be born a woman, or you can't not be born a man. You are what you're born to be. Now all of a sudden she's the devil. Cancel J.K. Rowling. Don't watch another Harry Potter movie. That's not fair. What did she say wrong?
Yeah.
What did she do? What was her crime? That she needs to be canceled. That's the thing. I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, these are very tricky, like you said, cuz these are very tricky conversations, because what we've done in society is we're eliminating the nuance of the circumstances and in eliminating the nuance, which is critical to understanding. We're eliminating the nuance so that we can have these overly politicized and egregious statements be magnified. So when a young lady says that this guy in 1984 did something to me, we just take that statement, no nuance, no lead up, no opportunity to respond from the male side, and we say, she got me too. That's tough, because it makes for a very difficult interaction now between men and women. Listen, I don't know if I want to date you now. If the possibility of our dating is going to lead to you, if I don't give you ultimately what you may be looking for in this relationship, 10 years from now, you're going to come out and say, I did X, Y, and Z to you.
Man, you know,
I'm not saying that's the case for all of them, but that certainly is the case for some. And we don't want to talk about that, because just to do what we're doing now is looked upon as hatred. Or
I didn't realize.
Go ahead,
I didn't realize that man, that, you know, for so long, whenever a woman says, you know, this happened, then face value. I can't help but think of the guy that went to jail for, like, I can't think of how many years. I think he was supposed to go into the NFL, and this chick said he raped her, and he did not. And he went to prison. I don't know how long he was there, but all of a sudden she recanted her statement. Man. Now he got a chance to, because the world heard about what happened, he got an opportunity to still, be a part of the NFL. He did the combine or whatever, and then became an actual player. Right. But and it's like my heart bleeds, because I'm saying, man, as a woman, we don't realize the power that we have. I take it as a personal mission when I've gotten the opportunity to talk to young women and even older women, to tell them, look, man, if that's not the way that, you need to, if something happens like that, then tell it like it is. But man, if you just got into a situation or circumstance and you want to opt for telling the lie to keep from getting in trouble or whatever like that, you just need to go ahead and just face the.
But let me tell you why what you're saying is so right, and why what I'm saying is so dangerous. Look at the situation we talked about earlier with Zion Williamson. Here's a guy who got into these extracurricular relationships. Now, if he's lying to get into relationships, that's one thing. That's a whole nother conversation. And bruh, I don't know why you out here lying about it. If you are lying, I don't know why you're doing that. That's dumb as hell. But let's also look at the fact that without him responding, this young lady went on Twitter this weekend and obliterated his character. So now they are killing him on social media. They're killing him in the press. They're killing him all over and mocking him and making him look like he's this sexual addict that can't control himself. and she is a victim in his life, which that may not be true. It doesn't sound like. Listen, if you're receiving $170,000 a month for your services, you're not a victim. In my opinion, you're not a victim.
You might be.
How are you a victim, Mama Noise?
It might be some victim stuff going on, but you be thinking that you can pay for it. Some people pay, just because people pay money don't mean that they're doing it right. But don't believe everything's above board and that it's honesty and integrity. They might be doing some crazy stuff for that $170. It just might be a victim. But you know, I might be the devil's advocate at this moment. But I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Cuz, what you think?
I agree with Mama Noise. Money has nothing to do with it. You can be a victim and still be well paid.
You can be a victim, but if you're agreeing upon the money, how are you a victim?
Well, because you have no.
Because he lied.
You have little options. There are people dependent upon you, and you know that. You know my weaknesses. You know the situation I'm in, and you can easily take advantage of that and still pay me.
She said, I was making money before I met him.
Mr. Noise, you can manipulate people with money against their own values, their own beliefs, their own faith. You can manipulate people with money.
I agree.
Yes, Lord. Yes,
I
Lord.
agree. But I also say that you being manipulated is still your choice. Like you're making the choice to succumb to what is being presented. And I don't know if that's a forcing or that's a victimized individual when you chose to accept what was presented. So
you do know that most sales is manipulation. People that sell you things oftentimes are looking for your hot buttons. They're looking for your to understand why you need or why you're doing what you're doing.
I agree. But where is their money at? The people who are being manipulated, where is their money at? Because sales is a transactional thing. It's not that you have the opportunity to reach into my wallet or purse and pull it out and steal it from me. I have to make a decision to give you my money. So it's not manipulation until I make the transaction.
I don't think if you
or let me say it this way, and then I mean to cut you off. It is manipulation, but it's not victimization until I give you. It's not victimization. I don't think it's victimization at all because I chose to give you my money. I chose to believe what you said.
If it's something I absolutely don't need, something that's not good for me, it can be. You can be a victim of sales. A good salesman can sell you shit that you don't need.
I totally agree with that.
Now,
that says more about you than it does the salesman, doesn't it?
I don't disagree with that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
not saying that you have no role to play, but you're still being victimized by the power of manipulation.
But should I be allowed to come back after I've chosen to be victimized? If you use your analogy, should I be allowed to come back after I've chosen to be victimized in this situation and then blame the person that sold this to me and say it's your fault that I'm in this situation because the situation didn't turn out the way that I thought it should?
Listen. For years, and you can relate to this, and Mama Noise can relate to this. I know I can relate to this. For years, insurance salesmen would go door to door in Black communities.
Right.
And sell those Black people hope. They would sell them burial insurances as if they actually were going to be able to bury themselves with that insurance and take the burden off of their family. That's what they were thinking.
Right.
And then once the burial time came, once death came knocking on the door, you didn't have shit. You might have been able to buy some flowers. See, that was, and I came to you month after month, and I gave you my money month after month.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that I wasn't a victim in the end, or that my family wasn't a victim in the end. People can take advantage of people in a transaction and still be victimizing those people.
And again, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. But I think a lot of times we're allowing the space for all things to be true of all people. And so some sales, that is a sale because it's being sold to someone who probably doesn't have much in the first place, that may fall into the category of victimization. But some people chose the option because they believed in the sale and then they regretted the purchase afterwards. So the lady that got with the guy went out on the date and said, this is my opportunity. This guy's could give me opportunity. He could bless me with this, to do that. That lady who has buyer's remorse afterwards is not a victim. She's just somebody that regrets the purchase.
The people that purchase the timeshares, that are sold a bill of goods that, oh, you're gonna get to travel any day you want, and maybe 1 or 2 blackout days, and it's just gonna be a windfall for you. You're gonna grow equity in the property and this, that. They sell you a whole bunch of bullshit. Salesmen.
No, you're 1,000% correct.
So now
listen.
So now listen. Can a rich athlete sell a susceptible young lady hope?
Absolutely. It happens all the time. But just because you sell me that doesn't mean I have to purchase that. It's not a transaction until I pay my price.
It's real hard. It's real hard for most Americans, most people, to walk away from hope. It's real hard.
I don't disagree with that. But
I
think you're missing my point. I think you're missing my point.
Okay.
I'm saying everybody that makes the purchase, that believes in the hope, is not a victim and can't come back later saying me too. You made a choice. There are some that were me too. I believe that there are some women that were me too. That goes back to what Tara was saying earlier, that I'm trying to remember what she said. She said they should be prosecuted because them lying, the 3% who do make it hard for women who have been assaulted, that's the problem. Which, by the way, I think it might be higher than that. I think there are some. See, the problem with sexual transaction is that high 90% of the time, and I don't know what 90 it falls into, it is a one-on-one conversation and transaction that has no measure of ability to prove how it unfolded. It's you, it's me, it's our space that we're in. And if we didn't text or if it wasn't videoed, then you and I made a decision to do whatever it is we did, and we did it. And at that point, it's your word against mine. So every transaction, you can come out of that room and say whatever the hell you want to say, just like I can as well. But most men are not going to say she took it from me or she wasn't what I thought she was. They're not going to come out with a negative aspect of that transaction. But there could be, depending on, like you said, because what was promised prior to the transaction, maybe there are some women saying, hey, wait a minute. You said I would go back to the girl's tweets, Mariah Mills. She said he promised to move her to New Orleans. She said he promised to put her up and continue to pay her this $170, and that they were going to be together and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Don't look like that shit's going to happen. So now, is that a broken business deal or a dream deferred?
Mr. Noise, can a woman, can a female be too immature to engage in legal transactions?
They can, but she's 32.
No. I'm not talking about her as I say. Can a female be too immature, age-wise?
I think both sides can.
Yeah.
So if I'm underage, I'm not mature enough to engage with a legal transaction. If I'm underage. If I'm underage, I cannot. Yes, that's yes.
I would say yes. I'm trying to see where you're going with this, but go ahead.
If I'm underage, can I engage? Just answer the damn question.
No, nigga, because you sneaky. You sneaky. I know who you are. Go ahead.
Can I be too emotionally immature to engage in a good, healthy transaction?
That's a different thing. Because I would argue that a lot of times, a lot of us are emotionally immature regardless of age.
And people play up on that. That's the point.
But I would argue this. I would argue that you can be emotionally immature in the offering as well. Like, it doesn't have to just be the person that received that's emotionally immature. The person offering could be calling. Listen, the boy from a town from 3,000 people in the town, he probably ain't seen titties and ass of this magnitude in his life. He looking at this and saying, my God, this is better than anything I've ever seen. I will promise her the world if she would just go back to this bedroom with me and do real nasty shit. So that might be where his emotional immaturity is. And so is he wrong for being emotionally immature to offer her the world, or is she wrong for believing that this emotionally immature nigga is going to do all this stuff for her?
I contend that your first argument of him being emotionally immature was actually selfishness.
I don't disagree with that.
If I learn to benefit myself by using others, and I get good at it, I can listen. That's how most people in this country have achieved wealth.
But isn't OnlyFans selfishness?
Well, no.
Isn't that a form of selfishness?
No, you can't.
If I show you these titties, you'll subscribe 3 months.
No, you can't say that, because there is a.
What's the difference?
There's a certain amount of hope in coming up, Mr. Noise. I'm telling you. Listen.
I'm not hating on women. I want to be clear.
Listen. Hope is a powerful thing, whether it's in church on Sunday mornings or in the clubs on Saturday night. Hope is a very powerful thing. Everybody is trying to get something for themselves.
Okay, I don't disagree with that part of it. And I think we all want what we want in a nutshell. I don't disagree with that part. But the challenge that I'm having is, with what you're saying, is that the choice itself, while we believe it could be rooted in a selfish desire and hope for oneself to have more, or an opportunity or love or acceptance or whatever you're hoping for, it still is rooted in an individual choice that you're making. And if the transaction doesn't go quite the way that you thought it should go, is someone to be blamed for that, or is that just a part of the natural aspects of societal interaction where you may be disappointed in something that you thought you were going to get and you didn't get?
So
you don't just because you
so
want something doesn't mean you automatically get it.
so those insurance companies that took advantage of those blacks for years and years and years.
Yeah, but I think that example is flawed.
Should they have been held accountable?
Yes, they should have.
The answer to that is yes, but I think that's flawed to this particular conversation because that interaction doesn't necessarily fall in alignment with the individual desires of people who are hoping one-to-one for whatever they're hoping for. A business transaction and the criminality that is tied to that is different than the hope of an individual saying, I'm expecting love, I'm expecting acceptance. That's a different thing because there may not be a crime tied to that interaction.
I agree with what you're saying, but that it wasn't that company that African American mother was trusting. It was that salesman that would come to her door and sell her that useless insurance. That was a one-on-one interaction.
I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying,
they made it personal.
But I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is, in a court of law, he is not going to be sued. The company is. They're going to go. You can go after that company because he represents that company. Typically, in a dating scenario or in us accepting whatever groups, whatever, those are individualistic things. Those are human interactions that we societally have to decide who and what we're dealing with. And so I understand what you're saying with the example. I just think it doesn't completely apply because there is a recourse for those people that were duped into taking that insurance. You can sue them.
So what's the recourse?
You can sue them if you want to, if you have the money to do it.
Those people never knew they had rights to do that.
Never.
My grandmother, the young lady that we know of, whatever, that just had a relative pass away, she said them policies was only like $5,000.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you said. They may not have known the totality of their rights. That doesn't take away from the ability to sue. That still exists. It still exists.
So
I'm not saying you're wrong.
So by your argument, and I can be off on this, and I don't mind both of you telling me I'm way out there in left field. We would agree that a interaction between a man and a woman is just that. It's an interaction. It's a transaction, if you will. It's a give and take.
It's a social transaction. I would agree with that.
Okay. So when that transaction happens, and a child is born from that transaction, and that guy now has the right, according to what you're kind of saying, hey, this thing didn't turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out. Oops, so sorry, so bad, so sad for you, because I don't have to live up to my responsibilities. I can plant the seed and move on. Does she have recourse? Yes, she does have recourse in our society. It's called child support.
Right. Though I would argue with that as well, because an interesting conversation broke out a couple of weeks ago where and I think we may have talked about it in a different capacity on another show, where a lady asked the question of, she was messing with a guy, and the guy told her before they got together, hey, listen, if you let me in raw dog, I want to be clear, I don't want any children. So I'm more than willing to help you pay for, Plan B, abortion, whatever, but I don't want any children. I have children. I don't want any more children. So she allowed him to go raw dog up in that motor scooter. He shot the club up. And
these are interesting words you're using to describe the transaction.
I'm just saying that's what it was. And so
motor scooter and shot the club up.
Right. And so she got pregnant, and she went back to him and said, hey, I know what you said, but I'm still pregnant. And he was like, well, good luck. Because I told you from the beginning, I didn't want this. So is he obligated?
Yes, he's absolutely obligated. Just because you speak words, you have to understand there was a physical transaction
today
that negates any words you said.
Well, he's obligated because he didn't get it in writing.
You shot up the house. You should say.
He shot up the club. He did.
Shot up the club. You the one shot it up.
Right.
Then you are responsible for what you did, regardless of what you say.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I think his real mistake is not putting it in writing.
Even if it's in writing, Mr.
No. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Legally, if he had put that in writing, he'd be good to go.
Mr. Noah.
If he'd have had her sign, an NDA that said, I will not hold you responsible for anything that happens coming out of this physical transaction, a court would have to honor that.
Mr. Noah, that's bullshit.
No, it's not.
A woman does not cause herself to get pregnant.
That has nothing, Mama. You know you can snap all day. That has nothing to do with it.
Mr. Noah, she could be what she could be doing what she considers to be protecting herself, whether it's birth control or whatever. If she gets pregnant, she gets pregnant. Listen, you the one shot the club up.
Listen. But what you need to understand is his mistake was he didn't get it in writing. If he had got that in writing and she signed it, I'll bet off.
Doesn't matter, Mr. Noah.
Life has been created.
Listen to me. Go ask a lawyer. We need to get a lawyer on here. And I promise you the lawyer would tell you if he had signed his rights away as a father and she agreed to let him sign those rights away as a father, she would be in some serious shit today.
You do realize that a lot of companies put into their contracts statements absolving themselves of any responsibility if something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
A lot of companies put into their contracts. For instance, if I go over here to Hurricane Harbor somewhere and I sign a statement that I am responsible as a person that's choosing to go on this ride, I take on the responsibility because I know it's dangerous and I'm absolving the company of any responsibilities if anything was to happen. But you do know that you could sign that agreement and sue the shit out that company.
Still.
If something happens. Exactly. They just do that to make you think you don't have rights. If something happens.
Well.
Just because I signed something doesn't mean you can go out there now and be reckless.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna have to. I need to go to one of them AI deals.
You cannot be reckless in your behavior and hold someone else accountable for your recklessness. You can't do that.
I'm listening to you. I hear what you're saying. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a minute.
I don't care what you find out there. I'm telling you, you can't.
You can. People do it all the time.
You cannot pass the pussy.
Listen to me. People do it all the time.
You cannot.
Derek Jeter did it for his whole career.
People do it, and because of ignorance, they accept it. But you don't have to accept somebody else's willful wrong behavior. You don't have to accept that.
Derek Jeter did it his whole career. He said he had them chicks sign NDAs and said, don't be talking about what we done. And by the way,
but I mean, NDA may not necessarily mean, okay, well, if there's a child that's a product of this environment, that's a whole different type of legal document. Sir,
we can sign we can sign a legal document saying that I will keep my mouth shut. That's okay.
Okay, so it basically says it depends on where the law
went on legal.com.
No, I went to the one AI things. You know, you can use this AI shit for everything.
I don't want to talk to you.
It depends.
It depends on the jurisdiction
I can sue you.
of where the act takes place.
I can sue you.
Right.
There you go.
So it may be enforced. And again, it's interesting. It's an interesting situation. Tar said you can't sue the dope dealer for delivering inferior product, even if you have the degree. That's funny. I get so okay. So then that brings me back to what I said earlier. If you can't sue the person for the results of what took place, because they have the right to press you on the back end of those results, then how is it that everybody, well, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. How is it that everybody's being Me Too?
Everybody what?
It's being Me Too.
Is everybody's what?
Being Me Too, Mama Noise. You can't hear me?
No.
Can y'all not hear me?
I can hear you.
Mama Noise acting like she can't hear me.
Uh-oh.
I said I couldn't hear you because I couldn't hear you.
I said everybody can't be Me Too. Some of it is results oriented. I may not have gotten out of this what I thought I was going to get. So now I'm on the backside of the results saying, hey, this didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out.
That buyer's remorse.
That's all I was trying to say from the beginning.
I don't deny
it. Ain't worked out. You can't, because you just said you can't sue on the backside of the results.
That ain't what I said.
Exactly what you said.
You sound like Donald Trump now.
No.
Oh, Lord.
I ain't going to jail tomorrow. I'm good. I'm saying you can't sue on the backside of choices that you made.
Negative, you can. I never said that.
So it's okay. So then why are we getting upset at the girls for suing in?
Listen. It's not. Mr. Noise, in society, and you know, you can go and get your drop ready. I don't give a damn.
You should.
In society, toxic male masculinity behavior. Get your drop ready. I don't give a damn.
It's ready. I know where you going.
Toxic male behavior was so prevalent that women in general didn't see any way around it. There was no way for me to achieve in the office. There was no way for me to achieve on the acting sets unless I screwed the boss.
Shout out to Kathy Hughes.
What?
Now listen. If we are a fool, we are fools. If we believe that toxic male behavior that existed back then, and I contend it still exists today, was not using women for their benefit. Come on now. Come on.
Okay, I'm trying to see where you going with this.
Secretaries were used not for their typing ability, but for their ass.
Was that what it was?
That feels aggressive. Like,
it's true, Mr. Noise.
You try to say all or just some?
No. I didn't say all. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm just asking questions.
A large percentage of them were pressured. You can't lose your job. You need your job.
Oh, yeah.
That behavior existed. And therefore, she gave into that pressure.
Yeah, they would do it.
After years later, after she now gets the courage to stand up and say, you know what, I was victimized. I was ashamed that I was a victim. I was ashamed of what I did, but I was victimized. Is she wrong for that?
or we didn't know that we had rights to be able to say something without the serious. Just think about what happens to a whistleblower.
I'm listening to y'all.
When a whistleblower sees something wrong and they're like, okay, I'm just trying to tell what happened. And then it's like all Cain breaks loose because they tell them what happened. But as women, man, listen, the type of harassment and stuff like that we have been subject to in different jobs and stuff, you're like, okay, I don't want no trouble. I need this job.
In every area, Mama.
I don't think.
Hold on, Mr. I'm sorry, just one second. It wasn't just in the workplace. It was actually up in the church house.
Oh well, that's
wait.
Okay, so let me jump in right there.
It was also in the family. I mean, it was everywhere for a lot of women.
I got you. I let me say this. For the women that had to endure that, they should have the opportunity to have the recourse of compensation or whatever that restitution is. I 1000% agree, and I am your ally.
So, Mr. Noise,
hold on, I'm not done. However, we do need to make room for the reality that some women did not go into these circumstances eyes wide shut.
But Mr. Noise, that same argument. I mean,
no, you can't have it both ways because that is reality. That is reality. Let's call it what it is. There are some women that felt they were stronger enough to endure whatever the toxicity was. And they said, you know what? I already know what this is, and I'm willing to play the game.
You know,
so to act like that woman doesn't exist is not fair to the circumstances. Or to act like that woman didn't manipulate the situation to her benefit is not fair.
You know, Mr.
It works both ways, is what I'm saying.
Mr. Noise, and I know you're going to disagree with this, and I get it. But a lot of white people try to use that same argument against restitution.
Like we knew it.
Like we knew, we took advantage of, we benefited from.
Like we could have got a boat and made our way back to Africa.
Really? But we know they're lying though.
But the argument can be made.
No, it can't, and you know it can't.
Listen.
There's no way to make that argument.
Mr. Noise, there are some blacks that actually benefited. Now I know this is hard. This is a hard one. But there are some blacks that actually benefited by being close enough to the white man, because he was a fair skin, and he was treated better.
And I don't disagree.
He was given more. Some of them,
and I don't disagree with that.
Some of them were actually given land.
I don't disagree with that. Okay. But culturally, we know that that's bullshit. We know that.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
But the argument can be made.
But what I'm saying to you is what I just said. Culturally, we know that that's bullshit. That all people did not benefit. Just like we know, right. Just like, and I would even say the majority were not benefiting from it. I would also argue that while there are a lot of women who, I would say a lot that have experienced high measures of male toxicity and been victims of that toxicity, either in the workplace or in the church or at home or whatever it may be. I would say there's a lot. But I will also say,
if she's 50 and over, she's experienced it.
Well, maybe. I'm not gonna co-sign that.
Come on, Mr. Noah.
I'm not gonna co-sign that, because the reality of it is as well, there are some that are not victims. I'm sorry.
They didn't consider themselves victims, but they were still being victimized.
It was a whole lot of situations. I didn't know I was a victim until all of a sudden somebody started illuminating. I didn't know, like, what, family medical leave and all this stuff. I didn't even know that I was even eligible. Listen,
but that's a different conversation.
Getting fired because you're pregnant and stuff like that. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that you could, I could, like you said so eloquently, Mr. Noise, why ain't you just sue? I didn't know that I could.
listen, again, I don't disagree with that part of it. What I'm saying to you guys is that there are some people who simply were a part of a process that they understood going in eyes wide open, and they knew what it was, and they knew what they were doing, and they took advantage. They used the situation for their benefit. It happens. We have to leave space for both, because every man is not a predator. He's not. Every man's not a predator.
Ain't nobody used the word every.
Okay, but that's important
so
to know. Stop, cuz. Because I'm saying to you, that's the important distinction. That's part of the problem, because we're blanketly making statements like what we're doing here tonight and saying they're all victims. They're not. They're not all victims. They're not all predators. There is nuance in some of these conversations that we're refusing to have. That's where I'm trying to get us back to. There is nuance, and important nuance, in some of these conversations that we're refusing to have, that takes the victimization of it completely out of it. And that's important, because if we never deal with the nuance that says this woman actually understood the circumstances that she was in, or this man understood exactly what was happening in this moment, or this woman made a choice, this man made a choice, this group made a choice. If we don't get into the nuance and the reasoning by which people are choosing to decide the lives that they want to live, we will take victimization to the levels that they are now, which is what is happening in our society.
Somebody's coming up to my door. Give me a second.
Okay. Mama Noise, you want to respond while Cuz is getting the door?
I will agree with you that not every guy is a villain and every woman is a victim. I agree.
Mm.
However, it is kind of loaded because, if you go with what Jay was saying in regard to reaching all the way back, man, then there's a whole lot of us that are victims and we didn't even know it.
But okay, and I don't disagree with that. And it's easy to take that particular section and say this group is not victim, or they are, or whatever. I get that. But what I'm saying is very simple. And by the way, shout out to the chat. The chat is on fire tonight. Tara is in her bag and she's giving some wisdom. Y'all make sure y'all read everything that she's saying. It's coming in so fast with everybody. I can't get everybody up, so I apologize for that. But my point is saying, or what I'm saying is that our refusal to take everything by a case by case basis is part of the reason why we're having the issues that we're having, because we're not allowing ourselves the opportunity to see truly if this is that situation. Mm-hmm. Is this really that thing that we're calling Me Too? Or is this truly that thing where this person is that way, or whatever it is? And because we won't get into the nuances of these subtle conversations, and we're making it hard on ourselves to truly be able to really bring balanced conversation to any of this.
What is it that you're actually trying to get into? If a woman is of age and she experienced what we knew existed back then, what is it that you're actually trying to uncover as to whether or not she's telling the truth or not?
Well, let me be very clear. I'm so sorry, Tara. Thank you for clearing that up for me. I keep saying Kathy Hughes. It wasn't Kathy Hughes. It was Deborah Lee. And I keep throwing Kathy Hughes out.
You be throwing Kathy out there.
I apologize, Kathy. I apologize.
Like, it's all in my spirit. It's Kathy.
No, it wasn't Kathy. Kathy's a good girl. She did it, I guess, the right way. But it was Deborah Lee that made the confession. I apologize. Thank you for helping me clear that up, Tara. I apologize. Kathy, I'm so sorry. This is a public apology from us. But my point of going what I'm saying with what you saying, what I'm saying, cuz, is that we kind of got locked into one area of this conversation, and that has kind of dominated what we were talking about. When the truth of the matter is, this is more macro than we're allowing for it to be tonight.
Right.
we're not allowing for the greater conversations to take place about any of these areas. And because we're not allowing for it, it's making it difficult to have the conversations at all. So my point at the beginning of this was, I don't want to box some dude in that ain't really done nothing wrong.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with
that. But the problem is that's a very tough road to hoe.
It is. Well, it's all a tough road to hoe, though, cuz all of it is.
It is.
Yeah.
But we can acknowledge that more often than not, and maybe he is innocent, but more often than not. Come on now.
No, but see, just
know,
that. Okay.
We know what was taking place.
But just that thought process that you putting up now, that's part of the problem. Like we maybe
Mr. Noise. But
and again, we fixated on this one area, which makes the whole conversation rather difficult because.
Okay, go on.
I'm just saying we fixated on this one part of the conversation, which makes the whole conversation difficult. Because the reality is, when you move to a whole nother area, it becomes and you say, okay, like you said with racism, okay, there are blacks that benefited of it. There were blacks that benefited from it, that got to be in the big house and this, that, and the other. But the reality of it is, as a full-on culture, we have suffered because of what we're talking about, and to not be able to acknowledge that in our schoolhouses, in our school districts, is a criminal act.
So to not be able to acknowledge that women have suffered.
See, now I'm play the button ass nigga. This nigga, he just gonna keep defenders of the earth.
That I say something wrong.
Well, we keep going back to the one topic as if that's the.
Well, we don't have to go back to that topic no more. But if you're going to acknowledge the race part, then you got to acknowledge what was taking place to women.
You really don't. That's
by toxic behavior. But now listen, let's
you
go
really
to
don't. That's okay.
Let's go to the.
That's what I'm saying, Tar. That's what I'm saying. It's more nuanced than that. He chose it. He chose to do this. She didn't.
Put back up her statement.
She didn't say to him, "Bringeth thou penis over here, and I shall sit upon it and do nasty shit." She didn't do that. He went to her and did what he did. So we got to acknowledge his participation and hold him accountable to his action.
He's not a victim.
He's not a victim.
Okay.
But guess what? Neither is she.
Well, that's your opinion. You don't know her. You don't know her story. You don't know what he was selling her. You don't know.
I do know what he was selling her, and I know that because she said it on the internet. So I know her version of the story.
You don't know.
What I don't know is if her version of the story is true.
She's only telling you what she wants you to know. You don't really know her story. But you're making my point for me. That's my point. We don't know both sides of the story. We hear one side and we run to judgment to say he's the guilty person. He did it. It's all his fault. Okay. But you're making my point for me. You're saying that he's not a victim and she's not either, and you don't know the story.
I just think. Okay, but that is the point of the conversation that we're having tonight.
I agree.
We can't have these conversations without considering all aspects of what could have potentially taken place. And because we're not, and by the way, tonight is proof that these conversations are hard. They are not easy to have. They are very, very difficult conversations to have.
I think these conversations are much easier than you're saying. The one that I struggle with, and the one that I think that's most difficult, and the one that I believe that pisses most people off the most, is that science one. Whether or not he, she, it was born that way.
Okay.
I think that's a very difficult conversation, and we should be able to have it, but we can't. But the reality is, we don't know enough about science. Mr. Noah.
Yeah.
I'm on your side on this one. We on the same sheet of music.
Yeah.
If the boy has a tallywhacker, the boy is a boy. If the girl, when she sits down there and she looks in the toilet and there's blood in the toilet and she need to put a pad on, she's a girl. Right. Hey, mama and always don't look like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit hell. Right. My point is, we take it as if you got this, this is what you are. And I agree with that. But I think that might be a little bit more involved in science than what we are believing. There's a possibility there could be more in science than what we are believing. Now, there could also just be mental illness and BS.
I don't know what it is.
I feel like I'm a female. I don't know how you feel like something that you're not. I don't know how that happens.
Right.
But because I don't know, I can't necessarily judge.
But my point is beyond the judgment, because the reality is, because I don't know, and they don't know either.
But
I'm not trying to invalidate your feelings. I'm not trying to invalidate what you feel, but I'm also not trying to validate what you feel above what I know to be real and what we both know to be true.
Okay.
So my problem with the lack of conversation is that you're not even willing to come to the conversation unless I acknowledge the fact that you were born that way. Well, how can I acknowledge? So you're asking me to ignore the reality of science as we know it today for whatever mental, psychological, or undiscovered scientific aspects of this, as they are, to just accept what you say, and it's not really fair. It's not a fair conversation.
So socially, you're asking us to jump ahead of the science.
Well, the science or the psychology. We're not
basically right.
Because really, here's the reality. Here, I'm going to say something, and boy, this may shock some people. Whether it's a scientific thing or whether it's a psychological or mental choice, at the end of the day, the act itself is a choice. It is a choice. Because let's say you're born a boy, but you decide, I really don't want this vagina. I want something else. Okay. Whether you choose to do that, that's your choice. I may not agree with the choice.
I disagree.
It is. It's a choice.
No, sir. Yes, it is. Mr. Noise, as heterosexual as we are, we didn't choose girls. We did not make that choice. We did not make a conscious decision. I'm going to choose a girl versus a boy. There was no other option in our mind. That and it wasn't a social thing. It was a hormonal thing. It was a ooh budding breast thing. It was a ooh look at the basketball booty on that little girl. It was what we felt. There was no way either one of us were attracted to a dude sexually.
Listen,
we didn't make that choice.
Okay, let me say this. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying to you is that the counter argument is opposite of what you just said, and it has to be a choice because they're choosing to go against what you just said.
No, well, wait now, you confused me on that one.
You said we saw the booty, we saw the breast, we were attracted, and there was nothing we could do about it. Okay. Nothing. That same thing could be said about this guy choosing another dude. He may think that's the choice that I'm making because when I saw that got me excited.
He feels like it's not a choice. That's who he is.
Right. Right. But again, my conversation to you or to him or to her would be, to my level of understanding, that feels like
choice.
It wouldn't happen. But again, I don't know how we have these conversations without the nuanced aspects of what these conversations are. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how because the first step in having the conversation has to be where we say, okay, I'm suspending spiritual and religious ideology or thought, and I have to just deal with this on whatever core value it is. And I don't know how we do that. Like for a lot of us, that's impossible for us to do. So but my point is, these are difficult conversations. But if we don't have a place to ever have a conversation, then we're stuck with decisions societally that make this very, 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 very challenging.
Does your religious right or belief counter my constitutional right to exist, to be, to have?
Not currently, no. Not currently, no.
View. Okay.
Not currently, no. I agree.
But it has in the past.
Yeah, because we haven't always accepted the fact that people could have a same-sex marriage.
No, I mean,
constitutional.
Has religion in the past taken away people's constitutional rights in this country?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And is religion taking away people's constitutional rights presently in this country?
I'm trying to think. Because my simple answer wants to say yes.
And in Florida, they're trying to.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah! In Florida, it's a nightmare right now. Yeah.
Well, it ain't just Florida. It ain't just.
Right.
Well, I'm saying
right.
they're the
Texas,
ones.
Florida,
They're the ones that's rah-rahing the loudest right now.
Right.
You are correct.
Right.
They are loud, but Texas doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Texas doing a lot of things, but.
So I struggle with your religious view, dogma, belief, whatever. I struggle with that. You having the right to that, and you do have the right to your religious view, but I struggle with it when it infringes upon my right to exist, to be.
But see, I think that's part of the bigger problem, because the reality is, whatever your religious view is, it should not have, and I may completely disagree with your entire lifestyle choice, but if you are an American and by the legalization of the Constitution, of the laws that we've established in this country, you have the legal right to do this thing, then it's not, then whether I believe you're breaking God's laws or not, I have to still treat you with humanity. And that's where I'm having a problem with people, because I'm saying, I may not agree with your choices, but I don't have the right to treat you inhumanely. And I think some religious institutions feel as though they do. They have the right to treat them however they want to treat them. Because,
Mr. NOIZ, there were a lot of laws in this country that were on the books that discriminated against people and took away people's constitutional rights. One of those such laws was interracial marriages.
Right.
How long did that exist? And how long were people, beaten, chased, killed simply because they married a white woman or a black man or what have you?
Right.
Well, it just became legal in what, 1967?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Right.
But many of them had to flee north.
Huh?
Many of them had to flee.
Yes,
north.
they did. But I mean, even it's ironic that you say that, because I was passing by Grandma Noise room, and the one thing I heard on the news that she listened to was like how it was incorporated in same-sex marriage. Like, in other words, it's in the same category as same-sex marriage to be even mentioning interracial marriage. And it's like, seriously? I was shocked that, we're here, but it was like they talked about interracial marriage like it was something that's
Well, but based upon just principle, Mama Noise, just the principle of it now, it's the same thing. You're telling me I can't love who I love of legal age. I'm not talking about no man with no little girl.
But I guess I'm tripping because I'm saying this is not okay. Maybe I'm just weird. I'm just weird like that. But I'm saying this is skin. They're not saying allow me to marry. Okay. I'm just saying this is two skin colors. That's all I'm saying. It's two different skin colors, which we're all human beings. So you saying this human being can't marry this human being because they're a different skin color?
But Mama Noise, you're speaking from a 2023 mentality. That is just skin color. That thing was much deeper back then. Skin color it wasn't just skin color. It was social. It was economic. It was lineage. It was the whole 9 yards.
Should the Bible? I know, and I understand what Tara is saying about separation between church and state. Should the Bible? Because our Constitution talks about it's the biggest hypocritical, one of the biggest hypocritical documents of all time.
Hugely.
Because it talks about how we're one nation under God, and then when you start adding God-like things in there, it's like, nah, we can't do that. So you got to choose. First of all, that's why part of this is so confusing. But should morality, the choice of morality and spirituality, ever affect what is best for a group of people?
I believe laws should be not morality based. I believe laws should be not infringing upon the rights of others, not causing harm to others. Now, whether you want to call that religion, and I know in our eyesight, these three that are here, Jesus is love. I agree with that.
Right.
Okay. But the reality is, I don't necessarily have to believe in Jesus to love. So therefore, I don't necessarily need my religion in order to inform me with laws. I can pass laws that are kindness to human laws versus religious laws.
Can I make a statement that's going to probably be the loudest statement of the night? I think laws that are rooted in Christianity for the sake of taking away humanity is lazy Christianity. Because what you're saying is what you have the inability to do in an apostolic way, you'd rather legislate it than actually deal with people. That's what you're basically doing.
But Mr. Noah, that's the same thing that happened in the Bible days with the Hebrews and the Gentiles.
That's what I'm saying. It's lazy Christianity. You're saying I don't want to have to go and apostolize a whole subject of people or to really understand how that person got to that mindset or that place or whether or not this is real or whatever. I don't want to have to do that. Let's just legislate it one time and then we never have to really deal with it because the law says you can't do it.
Well, Mr. Noah, that's the same thing that's happening right now in our society with
that's what I'm saying. We're agreeing.
With the white church versus the black church.
That's what I'm saying. We're agreeing. It's really a way to make this easier for Christians to create a place of I don't say hatred, but it is kind of a hatred. And then also
comfort.
You know, there's political power and religious power that's tied to it as well, obviously.
Comfort, yeah.
But it's to me, it's lazy Christianity.
It's also to protect lifestyles. It's also to protect power. It's just not religion.
Right.
It's just not religion. It's their way of life.
Yeah.
That many of them are trying to protect.
But is I don't know. This is a real hard, like I said, these are the kind of conversations where people are afraid to drive down this street, because boy, you gotta come to some tough truths. And that's why I made the statement earlier that both sides of these ninjas are wrong. Like I don't know if either one of them are right. And the aggression, but I think one is only playing the chess game that the other created. So
absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much more to deal with this particular topic. And I want to get into it, but I know that the hour, as the church would say, the hour is drawing late. Cuz, it's good to see you back, man. You look great. You look vacation. You look happy. I can only imagine that. What is shiny happy people, Tara? What is that? You muted, Mama Noah. Can't anybody hear what you're saying?
It's a documentary on the Duggars.
Oh, I don't want to see that jacked up family. I'll watch it. That family's jacked up. They all over the place.
Listen. Yeah, it's yeah. You know.
We are in a weird place in society right now, and it's a crossroads that daily becomes ever increasingly more dangerous, because it's not even about the direction that we should go as much as it's about we don't even know what road we're on. Like normally, when you're on a road and you get to a crossroads, you either go left or you go right, and you understand that one of them is going to get you to your destination and the other one is not. But that's not where we are right now. We don't even know where we're going. So we're at a crossroads of complete misdirection because we don't know where we're going in the first place. We just drove aimlessly down the road and had no idea where we were going from the beginning. So now we're just out there.
Well,
It's
Mr.
a weird
Noise,
place to be.
Mr. Noise, it depends on what you believe the fight is. I don't believe the fight is centered around gender identification. I believe that fight will work itself out eventually. Because I do believe, in large part, that gay people are gay people and straight people are straight people.
Okay.
You're not going to switch me just because you've made gayness popular. I'm not going to dress and dress. I like poo-poo way too much to switch just because you've made Mama Noah don't look like that. Don't do that. What?
He cleaned it up for you, Mama Noah.
I didn't say anything.
My point is, I believe this will work itself out, and we will still exist as a society. I believe the fight is in a different area. I don't believe it's around gender identification and homosexuality.
Well, I think, and to your point, I don't think the fight is as simple as the homosexuals are destroying our lives or whatever. I think it's way more nuanced than that. But because we're not allowed to have a nuanced conversation and to really dive into the areas that really truthfully are a part of that conversation, I think that's where this whole conversation becomes extremely difficult. Because if I can't talk to you about what's real or what's truly on the table, then we're not really getting anywhere, which is how we ended up in this place in the first place. We don't even know where we are because we don't know where we're going. We don't even know where we want this to end up.
It sounds like both of y'all talking about the same thing.
We are. All right. Do we have any church announcements? The 5 on Wednesday. I was gonna say we should be talking about an NBA champion on Wednesday, but man, the way the Miami Heat are playing tonight, we might be talking about a game 6.
Oh, hey.
Miami is balling tonight. They giving Denver some trouble tonight. So this may or may not be over tonight. So we'll see. But whatever happens, we'll be talking about it on
Wednesday.
On Wednesday. I hear you, Tar. Tar's pro Nuggets, so there you go.
No believing ACC.
No believing the ACC this week. And no uncorked wine this week. We are off. We want the fellas to enjoy their Father's Day weekend. So
that's right.
That's what we're doing. We're going to enjoy our Father's Day weekend.
Father's Day weekend, my ass. I ain't getting shit.
Well, wow. Some guys might get a few things. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm not expecting anything. I'll say that. I'm just. Well, Mama Noise. That way you don't have to get disappointed.
Now wait a minute, Mr. Noise. Now wait just a doggone minute.
No, listen, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about most guys don't expect anything. They don't have to be disappointed. Now, my family, I will admit publicly, my family has done a phenomenal job taking care of old dad on Father's Day weekend. They really have. So I'm not gonna put that on y'all. But at the same time, most guys don't expect anything. They eliminate the expectation of anything significant. That way there's no disappointment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, it's true, Tar. I hate to say it, but it's true.
I'm just saying the same thing. Wow.
Well, let me make it clear. Because this is also, I believe, Juneteenth weekend, right? Or was that last weekend?
No, it's on the.
Oh, that's today.
16th, isn't it?
When is Juneteenth? I forgot.
I thought it was the 15th.
Okay. So my point is, Juneteenth is going to get way more play than Father's Day this week. You're going to see way more Juneteenth commercials than you will ever see Father's Day. When we get ready to go to the restaurant, if we want to go to the restaurant, I thought it was next Monday, Tar. Thank you.
The 19th.
Yeah. When we Father's Day, if we want to go out to a restaurant this weekend, we'll have no problem with those reservations. We'll be able to get into anything and everything.
You know, Mr. Noise, I know I'm wrong as 4 left shoes, but I don't mind being wrong. Oh, God knows. But women like to celebrate Mother's Day a certain way. Why do men have to want to celebrate it the same way?
What do you mean?
I don't need dinner. I don't need flowers or a card. I just don't. I'm dad. Just let me be dad. Appreciate me. Thank me. Yes. Okay, that's fine. But I don't need all of the outward gifts and displays of thanks. I just don't need it. I just want to be dad. That's all.
Well, you're gonna get to be dad. You're gonna get to be dad.
That's all I want.
But don't dad. I still think there are some dads out there that do need a solid pat on the back and some recognition. I do.
I agree.
Everybody wants to feel like
they're appreciated.
Their labor is not in vain.
Well, I mean, and we also.
And Ron said he just wants some dinner, some liquor, and some encouragement. Y'all know what encouragement is.
Exactly. I mean,
that's really what most dads want.
I just don't need all that.
If we can hit the big 3, I think most dads are very, very satisfied.
Listen, I take 2.
Which 2 you want? Just out of curiosity.
I don't need the dinner. I don't need the dinner. I know you don't think I was going to get rid of the encouragement.
Well, no. Listen, that encouragement is critical to the development and the satisfaction of the day. I agree 100%.
I do believe I do believe we need to honor men and lift men up that are being dads. I don't disagree with that. But I also at the same time just believe as a real man, as a real dad, I don't need it.
Well, but I think it's important to do it for one reason and one reason only. Well, two reasons. I said to acknowledge those that truly need it, but also to continually send the message that there are some guys that are actually trying to do it right. They really are. And if we don't allow them the opportunity to be celebrated, then the narrative of the bad father will continue to escalate as it has.
I was at the Janet Jackson concert not too long ago here in the DF Dub.
Oh, shout out to Janet. Did she pull you on stage and sit on your penis?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You know what? I heard that in my head and it slipped out my mouth. I apologize.
If Janet had sat on my penis, she'd be pregnant by now. I'd be filing for child support.
Oh, damn.
Back to my original thought.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was at the concert talking. It was a group of us guys that went because we didn't want no ladies around us because we didn't want them to see how we was going to be.
Oh, you buried the lead. A group of guys went to go see Janet Jackson.
If you let me finish my statement, I'm going to say that. Because we didn't want our wives to see us falling all over Janet and throwing our drawers up on the stage. We didn't want we didn't want them to see us acting a fool over Janet, so we left their asses at home, and a group of guys went and had a fantastic time.
Wow!
But now listen, I didn't. This ain't a part of the story, but I didn't know Janet drew so many alternative lifestyle men out. But that's
yeah.
That ain't what I was getting to.
Yeah.
What I was getting ready to say was, as we were sitting there after, who was the one that opened for? I don't know that guy name. Luda. Yeah. He opened for. So in between the two, we were sitting there talking with the ladies that were by themselves. It was about four of them. It was three of us, about four of them. And we were talking about, some kind of way we got on the subject of honoring men that are doing what they're supposed to do by their kids. And two of the ladies were very verbal about, well, why are you going to do that? They're just doing what they're supposed to do. And I said, but the narrative is that we're not doing. So for those that are doing, we need to validate them and lift them up. But she was very adamant that no, they're doing what they're supposed to do, so they don't need to be lifted up. We're treating them as if they're something special, and they're not special.
Then why do we have Mother's Day? Because it's the same principle.
They're just doing what they're supposed to do.
Then why do we have Mother's Day? It's the same principle.
My brother-in-law leaned over there to her and said, somebody hurt you, didn't it?
Right.
You got a man right now that ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing by your kids, and therefore you bitter at all men.
That's exactly right. What'd she say?
Well, we kind of moved on from there and got back to drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would have to probably co-sign, because the reality is that's no different than Mother's Day. Mother's Day is we celebrate mothers who have done the job of being a good mother. So how's that any different?
Well, the sad part is that sometimes, and I call it sad, it's just my humble opinion. I know sometimes one time I put it on my wall and I caused all kinds of havoc. I simply said, let the fathers have Father's Day. Why, like we have Mother's Day? Why is it that certain women was like, I'm the mother and the father, so I should say Happy Father's Day to me too? And I said, I'm not doing it. Now, I mean, I ain't trying to tell you what to do. You grown, you do whatever you grown enough to do. But I said, now listen, I'm not doing it.
Agreed.
But you've settled in your heart that you're not going to be angry at the person who did it.
No, I'm saying that they, try to roll up on my spot, trying to tell me what I said. I'm not.
No. I'm with you. I'm saying you've settled in your heart that you're not going to be angry at whoever's hurt you. Some women and some men have not settled that, which is why they don't properly celebrate the day.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Healing. Listen, healing has to be a whole nother broadcast.
That's a whole nother broadcast. I agree.
Right.
Maybe we say that one for next Monday. All right. We gotta get out of here. We love y'all. Thank y'all for all that watch. Mama Noise, we're gonna work on your thing because your stuff.
Because I don't know why your light all in the camera. I mean,
she got it all in the camera. I mean, it's a mess right now. But we're gonna work on you, baby. We're gonna get you right. I gotta have you looking your best. Tara and everybody else that jumped in tonight, we appreciate your interaction. We love your interaction. It makes for this show to be better. And we thank y'all for each and every one of you. So we will see you next Monday. We'll be here next Monday, right?
Follow your noise schedule.
Follow the schedule. And that'll tell you when we're going to be back.
Know your noise schedule.
All right. Peace out.